Ethan Blake always minded his own business, mostly because life hadn't left much space for anything else. Between juggling his mechanic job and raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, he'd learned how to keep his head down, work hard, and avoid unnecessary trouble. But trouble, apparently, had a way of walking straight toward him. It was a stormy Friday night when he locked up the garage late. The streetlights flickered, the rain hit sideways, and the town's only bar glowed like a lighthouse for exhausted souls. As he passed by, he heard someone yelling. At first, Ethan ignored it, until he heard a familiar voice. A woman's voice. Slurred. Shaky. "I said no, let go of me." Ethan froze. That voice, he'd heard it every Monday morning at staff meetings. Firm. Confident. Always neatly in control. Ms. Victoria Hale. CEO. His boss. The woman who ran the entire auto company with an iron will and perfect posture. And someone had her cornered against the brick wall behind the bar. Ethan didn't think. He just moved. "Hey," he said, stepping forward, jaw clenched. She said no. The man rolled his eyes. "Back off, dude. She's drunk. Just helping." "Then help her by stepping away," Ethan shot back. Victoria blinked at Ethan, clearly trying to focus. "Ethan. Blake? Are you real?" "Yeah," he said gently. "Let's get you out of here." The man scoffed but eventually backed off. Ethan wrapped his jacket around Victoria's shoulders and guided her to his truck. She shivered but didn't resist. When he dropped her at her penthouse residence, she looked at him with a flicker of something: gratitude? Embarrassment? Fear? "You won't mention this, right?" she murmured. "I won't," he said softly. "Just get some rest." She nodded once before stumbling inside. Ethan drove home, shook his head, and told himself it was none of his business. CEOs forget things. Bosses forget things. People forget kindness. He didn't expect her to remember anything in the morning. The next day, Ethan walked into work ready for the usual routine: clock in, fix engines, stay invisible. But the moment he entered the garage, everyone froze. Standing in the middle of the shop floor, wearing a tailored navy coat, heels tapping impatiently, was Victoria Hale. His boss. Looking right at him. "Ethan Blake," she said. Every mechanic within hearing distance scattered like cockroaches. "Morning, Miss Hale," he said cautiously. "Something wrong?" "Yes," she said. "You." He blinked. "Me?" She strode closer until she stood only inches away. "You saved me last night." Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. "Anyone would've." "No," she cut in softly. "They wouldn't have. And I don't forget things. Especially not compassion." The entire shop held its breath. Victoria inhaled deeply, then said something no one expected. "Let me treat you to lunch." Ethan nearly choked. "Lunch?" She smiled, not the tight corporate smile everyone knew, but a real one, small and sincere. "Consider it a thank you." Before Ethan could respond, his phone buzzed. Lily's school. Again. He closed his eyes. She wasn't feeling well and needed pickup. He sighed apologetically. "I'm sorry, I can't. My daughter." Victoria raised a hand. "Say no more. Go. Family first. Always." Something in her tone made him pause. Like she understood. An unexpected connection. Later that afternoon, Victoria surprised them both by appearing outside Ethan's apartment. Lily stared at the elegant woman with wide eyes. "You're Dad's boss," she whispered. Victoria crouched to her level. "That's right. He saved me last night. So today, I wanted to return the favor. Lily grinned shyly. Dad saves lots of people. Even spiders. He says everything deserves a chance. Victoria's expression softened in a way Ethan had never seen. Inside, while Lily napped on the couch, Victoria quietly brewed tea in his tiny kitchen, completely out of place, yet strangely at ease. "You're a good father," she said as she handed him a mug. "I try," he replied. "Sometimes it feels like I'm barely keeping up." "You're doing better than you think." Ethan's eyes flicked to her. "You really didn't forget last night, huh?" Her voice lowered. "When someone shows you kindness, you remember. Especially when life hasn't handed you much of it." Ethan understood that more than she knew. The real twist. Before she left, Victoria hesitated at the door. "I fired my driver today," she announced. Ethan frowned. "Why?" "Because he was the one who left me drunk and alone behind that bar." Ethan stiffened. "And," she continued, "I also canceled my evening meetings." "Why?" She looked directly at him. "Because I want to spend the evening with you and Lily. Only if that's all right." For the first time since his wife passed, Ethan felt something open inside him. Something warm. Gentle. Hopeful. Lily woke up just then and tugged Victoria's sleeve. "Are you staying for dinner?" she asked. Victoria smiled softly. "If your dad lets me." Ethan nodded once. "Yeah," he said. "I'd like that." Emotional climax. Dinner was simple: pasta, garlic bread, laughter. Victoria insisted on doing dishes while Lily told her about school, her drawings, her dreams. At one point, Victoria turned to Ethan. "You think you saved me last night," she murmured, "but maybe you saved me long before that. Just by being someone good in a world that doesn't always value it." He swallowed hard. "You're not as unbreakable as people think," he said gently. "And you're not as invisible as you think," she replied. For a moment, everything felt right. Ending with heart. When she finally left, she paused at the doorway. "Ethan?" "Yeah?" "I don't want yesterday night to be the only time you step in to help me." He blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean," she said quietly, "I don't want you to disappear back into the background of my life. I want more days like this." Ethan felt his chest tighten, but in a good way. "Then I guess we'll have more," he said. Victoria's smile was soft, grateful, and impossibly sincere. "Good," she whispered. "Because I didn't pretend to forget, and I don't intend to pretend anything else anymore." She left, but the warmth she brought lingered, like a second chance, gently unfolding. And for the first time in a long time, Ethan believed something beautiful might be just beginning.